Welcome to our Frostgrave battle report. In this battle, we find the Fellowship of the Cheese battling with the Thaumaturge warband and his scoundrels to secure the coveted treasure in the Silent Tower. Let's jump right in and talk about the forces. All right, we have Richard's level 5 warband here with the Mouselings. Richard, why don't you tell us a little bit about these guys?
All right, this is the Fellowship of the Cheese.
Nice.
And they are, we have Templeton, the Soothsayer, is the wizard. We're starting on the back left with the little purple wizard there.
Gotcha.
He's a Soothsayer. He's got a mind control, forget spell, kind of a lot of mental manipulation sort of spells. Mm-hmm. That is Templeton. We have Rizzo, his apprentice, which is standing right next to him.
Love it.
So the next ones we have our treasure hunter, who's the little mouseketeer right in the middle back.
I love that.
He is speedy. He got himself a pair of boots of speed to give him movement 8.
So he's going to be jiving at the table.
Yes, yeah, he's fast.
Nice.
Next to him we have Jerry, the little piratey looking mouse, the little red piratey, and he's also a treasure hunter, treasure hunter. I thought that would be appropriate.
Perfect.
And then finally we have Ralph on the far back right. He is a thief. And then going to the front left, the barbarian, we have Mighty Mouse. On the front left.
Appropriate.
The barbarian.
I love it.
We have next to him, we have Knight, we have Slowpoke Rodriguez. So you might be noticing a certain theme to the names of all of them. Bonus points if you can figure out the references for everything. Some of them are easier than others. But so that is my Knight. He's Slowpoke because he's the only movement 5 guy in the band. Oh, I guess barbarians are movement 6 as well.
Yep.
We have a man-at-arms next to him, and that is Stuart. We have Mickey the Bard. That one's, again, easy. And then finally we have Chuck, who is an archer. And I have no idea what...
Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, yes, that's where it came from. I'm like, why did I name him Chuck?
That was the most obvious to me.
So, yeah, I'm like, I was very clever when I named these late at night, and then I don't remember all of them.
I love it. So your wizard type is Soothsayer?
Soothsayer,
okay.
Yeah.
And what? Tell me a little bit about your favorite spells on them.
Okay, so he actually did great. So I'm one game in with him, and he managed Bone Dart from the Necromancer thing. He managed to kill the opposing wizard and apprentice on rolls of 20.
Oh, nice.
Twice, like one turn right after the other. And so he got a bunch of experience off of that.
Outstanding.
Which is actually, I need a 14 or something to cast it. So that was pretty good. But that's his only really damage spell. Everything else is kind of making him faster, making us harder to hit, or just kind of messing around with that part of the game.
So we've got the Fellowship of the Cheese with the Mouseling models, and what line of models?
These are all Reaper miniatures. If you go like on Reaper, you just search for Mouselings. It's their whole category.
Got it.
And yeah, they're pretty amazing. These are all metal. They do have them in the bones, but I like the metal.
Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of the bone.
These are single piece models too, so it's not like there's an assembly problem.
Really?
Yeah, every one of them, there's not a single thing you have to glue together on those. So,
wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I guess as small as they are, they didn't need to break them up into pieces. But yeah, I have a few more on the way and everything. So
well, very cool. That's an awesome warband, and I love the concept. So I can't wait to see how they do on the table.
All right, Greg, tell me about your warband.
Well, I've got myself a level 5 warband here, and it is a Thaumaturge list. So the guy in the upper middle tier there on the snowy steps up to the tower there, he's my Thaumaturge, and so he's level 5. He's got a couple increases to his spells. His main thing is that he is a Thaumaturge, so he's mostly defensive. His only real offensive spell is an Elemental Ball. And he's pretty particularly bad with that, but we'll see if he actually does any work with that. But mostly he's things like healing, and he's got some Sigil in the Sky type of spells, and we're going to see exactly what he can kind of do with some of the other oddball spells that he's got as we go through the battle report. The little gnome blonde woman Down to the left of him is his apprentice, so she's obviously the same as him in terms of stats, with -2 on a couple of those, but she's going to be kind of supporting him. On the back row there, we've got a knight on the upper left-hand corner. On the other side of the wizard is infantryman, so she's got the two-handed sword, rocking that for this battle. On the next level down, we've got what looks like an archer. He's kind of counts as a crossbowman. I don't have a crossbowman painted, and we only do painted, so unfortunately that's my only counts as. And then next to that crossbowman are two thieves. So one's a gnome, Reaper miniatures. I love that miniature. He's got a little bow and a little feather in his cap, and he looks like he's carrying a little rucksack. I love him. And next to him is a little goblin, old Games Workshop goblin plastic miniature. And then on the front row there, I've got two treasure hunters. So I really love the treasure hunter. I've had a lot of success and a lot of fun with them. They're fast, they hit hard, and they're just a lot of fun. And I love these two miniatures. Those are both Reaper miniatures as well. So most of my stuff is Reaper miniatures. There's one miniature, the crossbowman is one from the Frostgrave line, and the one Games Workshop goblin. Because he's got the knife. I figured he looks like a thief because they're armed with daggers. But these guys are I really love these miniatures. They're a lot of fun. They're characterful. And I picked the wizard miniature because based on the fluff of the game, Thaumaturge is kind of a plain. They're not really, they're not flashy at all. They wear very plain robes. They don't carry a lot of weapons. And he just looks like a really plain, hey, I'm a peaceful old guy. Just leave me alone. I just want to kind of do my thing. And he kind of looks the part. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to see how these guys do.
The Silent Tower. The warbands come across a ruined tower that sends an icy chill down the spines of all spellcasters. They can feel that this tower is a null field where no magic will work, and yet somehow they know that a great treasure is hidden at the very top. So this mission, we have 3 towers in the middle of the board, with a very large one in the very middle. And there's a treasure token sitting on the top level of that. That is a very special treasure that at the end of the game is worth 3 rolls on the treasure table if you manage to retrieve it.
Outstanding.
But there's a hitch to that, and that is that all towers are in a null zone, which is no spells may be cast into them, no spells, and anything magical loses the magical ability once inside of the tower. So
anything touching the terrain pieces that are the towers,
correct,
nullify magic. Not permanently, but only during the time that they're in that
now
space.
If you have a permanent spell on you, it's like you got dispel cast on you. Like if that spell goes away, you lost it. You can cast it after you leave,
right?
And then if you get your wizard on the second or higher the second or higher level, then that gets you a bonus 50 experience points at the end as well.
Okay.
So otherwise, you got the treasure in the middle that's worth more. We're gonna put 4 more treasure tokens down for that are just normal treasure. They follow the normal rules of placement, and we play a game as normal.
All right, sounds great.
These are custom treasure tokens that I made for the game.
Yeah, these are totally awesome. I love these.
Yeah, well, thank you. They're actually really simple. They're poker chips, actually, is what I used for the base. You could use whatever size plastic bases or whatever you wanted, but I had some poker chips laying around, and so I glued some stuff to them. So those are all the piles of gold, and the treasure chests are all Hearst Arts plaster molds. So I've done a number of terrain pieces out of the Hearst Arts stuff, and so they make some good stuff. So I had those laying around, and I decided to make some treasure tokens, and then just the snow effect and everything.
Where did you get the snow effect stuff?
I use Woodland Scenic snow, and then I use realistic water mixed in with it to make that kind of melting, slushy sort of look to it.
And realistic water is a product?
It's a product. It's also Woodland Scenics.
Got it.
It's almost like glue. I mean, you pour it in. It's not a great water effect, funny enough. Like, I don't like it. It takes a long time to cure. It's got a lot of, I prefer resin for that, but it's a resiny sort of material, but it's really good for making things shine. You can use it on lenses. You can use it on things like that. But mixed in with the flock, or even baking soda, makes it look really good and very snowy.
Excellent. Okay, so we have placed the treasure token, so just so you can all see that. This, of course, is the objective for the special objective for the scenario. We've got a treasure token right here. Got one kind of hiding right there. Got another one hiding over here. And we've got one in that tower as well. So we've got some pretty good spacing of the treasures. So now that we've got all the treasures laid out, we are ready to roll for first turn in deployment. So here we go. I'm the red dice and Richard is the pink/black dice. Here we go.
I got a 1.
All right, we have deployed our forces. Richard, let's walk us through what you've got here.
All right, on the one flank, I have my archer.
Uh-huh.
I have my wizard in the middle with a thief, my Speedy, my super treasure guy, and then I have, Speedy and Slowpoke Rodriguez are together.
Nice.
I have a bard. Oh, you jumped over it.
Here we go.
got a bard hanging out right here.
Uh-huh.
That's Mickey. And then I have my apprentice hiding back over here, and have a barbarian, my man-at-arms, and a thief back there.
Outstanding. So that's kind of what your table edge looks like. Looking forward to stealing some treasures. Over on my side, I've got essentially 2 analogous structures over here. I've got a wizard, a treasure hunter, the infantryman, the woman with the 2-handed sword, and then a thief there with the goblin miniature. Over here, I've got the apprentice, the gnome in the blue robes, with a treasure hunter, thief, and a knight, and then the crossbowman kind of sitting there behind the cover trying to survey the landscape. So that is our deployment. Now we're going to go into first turn and we're going to roll for initiative. Okay, let's roll. Here we go.
20!
Oh, 14. So you are going first.
All
so we're
right.
over to Richard's wizard phase. All right, Richard, wizard phase for you, turn 1. What happened?
All right. Wizard put fleet feet on my knight Slowpoke to make him not so slow.
Nice.
My thief ran up and is sitting on the treasure with a full sprint. And if you go around this corner a little bit over here, there's a little treasure hunter. That is Speedy. Bolted across the... Yeah, you're not really going to be able
I see him. I see him.
He bolted like his namesake to get ready to get up in that tower to get us some treasure down.
Okay, so you did a wizard group activation. Everybody kind of moved up, and you've got a couple people on treasure then, right?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. On my side, for my wizard phase, my wizard here was back here. He cast shield on the treasure hunter. The treasure hunter ran up and is touching that treasure, along with my infantryman and my my thief, excuse me. They both ran up. So that is wizard phase. We're going to move on to apprentice phase. Apprentice phase, turn 1. Richard, what's going on?
All right, my apprentice cast fast feet on my barbarian to make him move 8, so that he can run forward and punch things. And then everything else just ran up to kind of hide behind this tower, hopefully a little bit out of line of sight for the next turn. But
okay, everybody's moving up. Okay, on my side, moving on up. On my side, my apprentice cast shield on the treasure hunter and successfully got that. The wizard failed it by 1, so had to cut for 1 point, so he's down a point, but she successfully rolled a 14, and so no damage there. And like Richard, everyone just kind of moving up, making a beeline for some treasure, so we're going to...
Oh, I did fail on my initial casting roll but I had a scroll that I burned off to get it off.
Okay, so no damage on your side.
No damage, just use the scroll, which is one of the ways you can use scrolls in the game.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to move on to soldier phase. All right, Richard, soldier phase on your side. What happened?
All right, my archer just took a pot shot at this treasure hunter right there. Missed, didn't roll very well.
Yeah, he had some cover and whatnot. And
then my bard just ran. He's hiding behind over here, and that's it for mine.
And that's what you do. Okay, so the only soldier that I had that did not activate with a wizard was my crossbowman. So he is +2, but there were 2 pieces of intervening terrain. These glowing crystals and this bridge. Thank you. So your treasure hunter there on that piece of treasure was at +8. I rolled, got a great number, but you got a great number too, so whiffed it, and so no damage. So we're gonna roll for initiative for turn 2.
Whatever, you had a 4 too.
We'll re-roll that.
No, it's fine.
Oh, 11. All right.
Yeah, you beat me.
Yeah. Good. So we're going to move on to top of turn 2 with my wizard phase. Okay, turn 2, wizard phase recap. I moved my wizard out from behind that cover and moved him over there and cast an elemental bolt against that little Mouseling with his tail sticking out, the red dude. And I missed my casting roll by 9, so I took 2 damage points, so clearly didn't... 1 damage point, excuse me. So I clearly took some damage. Richard, what happened with your wizard?
My wizard and the knight activated together, so Mr. Knight used his fleet feet to get up there, and then of course lost it because he's now on the thing. And my wizard, thinking I'm gonna mind control this treasure hunter down over here, rolled an 18 to take him over to lop off one of his own friends, and of course you rolled a what to
a 20 to resist.
So
that was pretty clutch. That was an awesome roll, but a fun spell effect if had not anyway. So great wizard phase. We're going to move on to apprentice phase. All right, that was turn 2 apprentice phase. So what I did was I had my apprentice cast fleet feet on the treasure hunter there, and then he moved up to get into base to base with that treasure. He went through that door, roundabout, and up the stairs, so he was moving super zoom. And so the thief did basically the same thing. He ran up there, and he's actually probably on the stairs, but since we can't actually place him there, we're just going to set him right there, and he's all good.
They've also lost shield and fleet feet.
Correct.
Because we're now in the null zone here.
Correct. So once you hit the towers, you kind of hit that magical null zone, so whatever spells were on them are gone. If they get out of there, we can cast it again, but whatever effects they had on them magically are now gone. So then my wizard kind of moved up to get behind that tower, and that was my apprentice phase. My knight here was out of 3-inch range for a combined activation, so no dice on that. All right, Richard, what happened on yours?
All right, my apprentice phase, I ran a treasure hunter and a man-at-arms up on top of the tower, and they've again lost any spells that were on them. Mm-hmm. They didn't actually have any, but and then my apprentice cut for 6 damage to lob a bone dart into your wizard to take 5 damage off of you. And the only reason that it was only 5 is because you have these nifty robes of arrow turning on.
I have the nifty robes of arrow turning. So you shot and you hit and you did some damage, but unfortunately you had to cut to get that spell off. And so we actually both took the same amount of damage on that shot. But hey, my wizard was out there and exposed. So, all right, so that was apprentice phase. We're going to move on to soldier phase, turn 2. All right, soldier phase for turn 2. What do we have going on there? So basically, the guys that weren't activated, this crossbowman shot into your treasure hunter, I want to say. Rolled really well, but didn't roll well enough and missed. So my knight moved up, and then my thief and my infantryman moved up into this tower and had some combat over there, but that happened in Richard's phase, so he'll recap that. Then my treasure hunter over here was up on that corner. He grabbed that treasure and is moving away from the combat like they do. So that's my soldiers. Richard, let's talk about your soldiers.
All right, Mighty Mouse, he had the fleet feet, so he had to move 8, so he ran all the way around this tower.
That barbarian.
Got into combat, or got into contact with the apprentice, but did not have enough actions for
up
combat.
To your second action, yep.
Mickey, the bard, just kind of is slinking back behind there to
doesn't really want to tangle my knight, I guess.
No, the knight is a little too scary for him.
Yeah.
And then
this was awesome.
Then Speedy climbed up the wall, attempted to jab your thief in the head, failed because of the supported combat.
Yeah, the thief is the goblin model.
But then the knight managed to hack off a lot of the the goblin, bringing him down to what, 4 health?
2 health.
2 health. He's down to 2 health now with a nice swing.
He is good and wounded. And then your little mouse skidoo over here.
Oh yeah, so he fell down off of here and is making a run for the thing over here.
Yep.
And did I pick this treasure up, or was that during it?
Yep, you picked that treasure up.
I picked that treasure up and started moving back as well.
Okay, and so we also rolled for monsters.
When we didn't get any monsters with either of the treasures.
Yep.
So things are starting to get interesting.
Yeah, I
believe we're going to have some models die on this turn.
I think we're getting close to some deaths in the icy fell stat here. So we're going to move on to initiative roll for turn 3. Let's find my dice. Here we go. All right, initiative. I got an 11 and you got a 13. So you are going first. So we're going to move on to Richard's wizard phase. Okay, turn 3 wizard phase. Richard, you had the turn, so what happened?
All right, so my my thief ran off back here, and my Vizard moved up to the corner here, and he cast Mind Control on the knight back here, and was successful on the cast with cutting for a little bit of damage. And so I took control of his character, but I only can activate him in the soldier phase. It's not an immediate takeover. It'll happen in the soldier phase when that happens.
Right. And so I had my wizard phase right after that, and so my wizard is right there. He elected to cast a spell and rolled a 20, so that was good. So that knight is no longer mind controlled, and then the wizard just moved up closer to the tower. And then he was close enough to activate the treasure hunter as well, so that treasure hunter is moving on back, trying to get off the table. So that was wizard phase. We're going to move on to apprentice phase, turn 3. All right, turn 3, apprentice phase. Richard, what happened?
All right, apprentice was back over here looking out, and then he tried to take over the knight with a mind control, but was
again
unsuccessful. Took a point of damage, and then he went to hide like the little mouse that he is, because that was not too fun. He's down to 5 health. So
Nobody wants to do that.
He doesn't want to take any more of that.
No. And so my apprentice phase, I am locked in combat with the barbarian, and we agreed per the rules I couldn't really cast spells that like did damage or anything, but I could cast a spell that would buff myself. So she was down 3 hits from trying to empower a spell from last turn, so she cast a heal spell. So now and I rolled a 20.
You are super healthy. You're running laps around
She's eating kale chips and doing yoga. It's all good. So that was the apprentice phase. We're going to move on to soldier phase, turn 3. Turn 3 soldier phase. Richard, let's do a recap.
All right, so for this soldier phase, we had actually quite a lot happen. Thief got off the board with the treasure.
Yep.
So first treasure token. We had a bit of a melee over here.
Yes, we did.
We'll cover that. We'll probably cover that in Greg. Yeah, the exciting things happened in Greg's turn. My turn, we kind of whittled things down a little bit.
Blows were traded.
Mr. Barbarian did smack around the apprentice for 5 or 6 damage.
He really got 5 damage on that apprentice.
There. And
this was exciting.
This is exciting. So on my turn, you killed the Musketeer when he attacked.
Yep.
And then the knight killed the thief when in retribution afterwards.
That's right. And then you had something going on.
And then I ran over here and picked this treasure up, which spawned us a zombie over here.
Yep, got a zombie there. And so that was Richard's fight phase. So basically what happened in my fight phase is like right over here, like we were talking about, we traded a lot of blows. End result, those two guys hit each other with a 17 result equally total for each of them. And so they basically were both on 1 health point each and brained each other. So they fall over dead together.
Tyrol did 7 damage apiece to each other.
Exactly. So they're dead. This crossbowman of mine shot at the wizard and missed. And then my knight who was standing over here kind of at the staircase. He ran over to get into base-to-base contact with his wizard. Used both actions to get there, so no action to attack. My man-at-arms attacked the bard with a pretty feeble blow, but the bard didn't. But I still won and did a point of damage to the bard. So that combat's happening. And again, my treasure hunter ran off the table. So that's 1 treasure on my side and 1 treasure on Richard's side. And so that wraps up turn 3. We're going to dice off for initiative for turn 4. Here we go. Yep. All right. I got an 11.
I rolled a 3.
All right, so I will be taking over first turn for turn 4, wizard phase. All right, wizard phase, turn 4. I basically took my wizard right there, and he healed. He successfully cast a heal spell, and then I just moved him over here because I want to try to get into that door and move up. Richard, what happened in your wizard phase?
I attempted to cast Monstrous Form to make you make a will check to attack me, but failed that on a 2.
Oh, so you
failed
didn't,
it by 8.
You didn't cut for it, but you do take a little damage for undercasting, so not a huge deal, but you didn't get the Monstrous Form. All right, we're going to move on to the apprentice phase, turn 4. Turn 4, apprentice phase. So I tried to cast heal. She was down 5 points, and that cast roll was horrible. I rolled a 2. And so I'm just going to take the point of damage. She's down 6 points, so I don't like her odds next turn. Richard, what happened for you?
Rizzo came around the corner, tried to possess the knight so that I don't get my wizard slapped around by him, and failed by 8 or whatever as well. So.
Yeah, so the apprentices just need to go back to school.
Do 2 big fails.
Yep. Okay, we're going to go to the soldier phase, turn 4. Soldier phase, turn 4, recap. We had some interesting stuff go on here. What happened, Richard?
All right, we had Treasure Hunter on Treasure Hunter. On your turn, you punked me down to 1 wound.
Yep.
And then I attacked you back. We rolled the exact same number.
Right, but since you were wounded...
But because I was wounded, it's a -2, so you killed me the rest of the way.
I took all the rest of the damage off. What happened here?
So the apprentice pulled his staff out like
ninja style,
rolled a 20 and beat the crap out of the barbarian,
which is crazy.
I mean, the barbarian's still alive, but he took 9 points of damage from it,
which is insane. Yeah, I rolled a 20 and you rolled something really low.
That's pretty good,
which was funny.
All right,
so this crossbowman shot into this melee. You'll notice that there's a lot less people there. So,
and who did you hit with your crossbow?
So I shot my own man-at-arms. I had a 1/3 chance of hitting myself.
And did 9 damage, I think?
That's right. I shot myself and brought myself down to 1 wound.
The knight finished him off, and then the bard, Mickey, went jetting up through these. We have movement for getting through the doors. So he's now up to the big treasure. Whether he'll be able to successfully get it anywhere or not is another question.
That's right. And so we had one other thing happen over here.
What is my archer's name? Oh, that's Chucky. Chuck.
Yep, Chuck.
Chuck kind of just is hiding from this zombie over here.
Snaked his way down there. We still need to move that zombie, but he's out of line of sight of that zombie.
Knight?
And the knight. I think that's the last thing.
You did damage, but not... You did like 2 or 3 damage. You didn't do a whole...
No, I think I did quite a bit of damage.
Oh, you did...
I think I did like 8 damage.
Oh yeah, you did. You used 10.
Yeah.
You that was like a 19 or 18 that you rolled.
Yeah, I walloped that.
You walloped him good.
That wizard there. He's not dead. Is he wounded?
No.
He's not officially wounded, but he was brought down pretty badly. So that was a very eventful soldier phase. For turn 4, we're gonna roll. We'll resolve the zombie offline. So that zombie just kind of wandered up there, and now we're gonna roll as part of his the wandering creature phase. So we're gonna roll for initiative for next turn.
God, you're nailing me on initiative.
16 versus 6. So I think I'm next up for wizard phase, turn 5.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to do a combined wizard and apprentice phase recap for turn 5. So essentially my wizard came around the corner of that tower and cast shield on my knight. So he successfully did that. So he's +2
armor.
+2 armor.
So
thank you.
Like armor.
I almost said fight. I meant armor.
Or something right now. So my wizard healed himself.
Yep. It was healed myself.
My apprentice attempted again to control the do mind control on the knight. Rolled a 19 and
then what did I roll? A 19 +1 on my will. So unfortunately that spell didn't get cast off. So my apprentice over here. In my apprentice phase, cast heal on herself. She's really kind of stuck in with that barbarian. She successfully did that, but had to cut for 1 point. So she healed herself for 4 points. So that's wizard and apprentice phase. We're going to move on to soldier phase.
All right.
Okay, soldier phase for turn 5. So my crossbowman actually did his job and shot the Mouseling knight that was there and actually did such a good hit.
That was right.
Completely removed him from the table. So shot him right in the head and killed him. So over here, my treasure hunter had killed the other treasure hunter, grabbed the treasure, and then walked down off the side of the building there. And then Richard, you'll notice that my apprentice is no longer there. What happened?
Apprentice, or the Mighty Mouse, the barbarian, lopped off his head.
Yes.
Did 14 damage or something?
Yeah,
with the roll?
something awful, and she's off the table. So that happened. And then over here, we had a little bit of a tussle between the knight and your wizard.
They tied up, pushed each other away from combat, did no damage to your knight because of the shield, did 1 damage to me.
Right. Well, I think my knight hit you for a little bit of damage, and then... No, I'm sorry, you're right. You did.
We rolled the same. You did you did a little damage to me.
That's
I did no damage to you, but I still was successful, so we pushed back.
We pushed each other back, yeah. And then over here, what happened?
Mickey picked the treasure up, spawned an imp, we've already done the creature movement, who's just moved that way.
So
I have the big treasure, but I'm kind of stuck and alone and don't have a lot of ways to get
technically,
around.
Mickey is standing right there. But we just can't get the model balanced, so we just know that that's happening. And so we also grabbed another treasure somewhere, and this ghost came onto this table edge and is moving up. So, sorry, when I grabbed the treasure, when my treasure hunter grabbed the treasure, sorry, this is the one that Mickey grabbed.
Yeah.
And the imp is the one that my treasure hunter grabbed. So that is the soldier phase for turn 5. All right, that has been a long and bloody game, and I think Richard and I are happy to say that we're going to go ahead and call it. What do you say, buddy?
Yeah, the wizards decided that they're happy with the treasure they had, and they're gonna jet off. And
I think it's time. They're looking at the blood.
They lost most of their crew, and they're like, you know what? We're still alive.
Screw you guys.
Let's go ahead and run for it.
You did slay my apprentice. Which, that's a little bit terrifying. So I think let's do a real quick recap. So I think, Richard, you've got 3 treasures, including the scenario special.
I got
treasure.
a scenario special one, and then 2 other treasures.
Right.
You got the other 2 treasures.
Right.
And
including the one, we're not going to finish up that combat over there with the treasure hunter and the barbarian. We'll just say that somehow I got off the table.
they shook and
it's like,
walked away.
Everybody's dead. Let's go home.
Pretty much, it could have come down. I maybe could have killed you there. You maybe could have killed my bard, but it was risky on either side in time.
I think everyone's just kind of saying, you know what, we've seen enough blood, let's just go home with what we've got. So we're going to call that game a wrap. I think Richard is the victor because you've got the most treasures.
I think I got the main treasure.
But I think
we'll see after we roll to see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens to our bands after all of this chaos and mayhem, and we're going to call that a game. So we'll be back with results with our war bands. Okay, so that was our game of Frostgrave for the Silent Tower scenario against our 2 level 5 warbands. Richard and I had a great game, lots of fun. That was swingy as always with Frostgrave, and it's always a lot of fun to see the back and forth on the battles. So, Richard, what did you think?
Oh, it was great fun. I've never played this scenario before with the tower, which really changed the dynamic of the game because
really did.
You could cast almost all of my casting as like buffs. And you lose them as soon as you go into the tower.
Yep.
Or you can't, if someone's standing there, you can't cast your magic missile up into there because, you can't. So getting to that treasure up at the top was challenging. And of course, my humble Mickey, the bard, who I kind of took just because I liked the model and I thought would do nothing. He's the one that nabbed me the big treasure.
Kind of your MVP, right?
He was my MVP of the game, despite having done nothing else the rest of the game. He just kind of, as appropriately as a mouse, he snuck in there and grabbed it.
He squeaked it out of there.
Oh yeah.
See what I did there?
He made off with the cheese.
That's right. So. Well, the warband name speaks for itself.
Yes.
So I thought that was a great game too. I had a lot of fun. It's been a little while since I've played Frostgrave, but now it makes me want to play Frostgrave even more. It's such a fun game, so easy to get into, very characterful. And a lot of back and forth. And to me, that's the hallmark of a really great war game, is that there's a lot of back and forth. You always feel like you're in the fight. You've always got something to do. And Frostgrave's got that in spades. So let's talk a little bit about MVPs. I think you've already mentioned yours. Was there any other notables?
Barbarian was pretty good as well, lopping your apprentice's head off.
Yeah.
I gave him the fleet feet to make him movement 8, which was huge, so that he could. I mean, he's scary in combat, so running around whacking things with his sword was pretty nice. But probably Mickey was
the barbarian. Yeah, I think on my side, I think I had I felt like I had a lot of notable moments. There was at one point where the infantryman took out your treasure hunter, was it?
Yes, yeah.
I thought that was pretty clutch. I really enjoyed that. I want to say that my crossbowman was an MVP if he hadn't killed my infantryman. But then he turned right around and made up for it to, basically killed your knight with an arrow through the eye, or a bolt through the eye socket. So I'm a little on the fence with that guy. We'll see, we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe not shoot into combat.
And so, Rule's little funny thing with me, every time I play Frostgrave, I make the bad decision. Poor life choices. I shoot into combat. And
that one was at least in your favor. It was 2 of my guys to 1 of yours.
And it was even in my favor, and I ended up killing my own person. So I think for me, I love treasure hunters. They are just so good.
That movement 7 with the fight +4 is huge.
It is so powerful. And so I think, treasure hunters on both sides, one treasure hunter didn't really do a lot of combat action, but jetted right up there on the left flank, grabbed a treasure and got the heck out of dodge. That's really what they're really great at. The other treasure hunter on the right flank, grabbed that treasure and eventually made it off. And so did a really good job there. My apprentice hung in that fight with the barbarian for a lot longer.
Time.
A lot longer than I anticipated. But, at the end of the day, great game.
For an MVP for you, I would actually give your knight who would not be mind controlled.
You know what? That's a fantastic point.
He will pass, I think 4 times he passed a will check.
I think you're right.
And it was like 19s and 20s that he was having to roll
So I feel guilty about my dice. I mean, I feel like I was rolling 17s, 18, 19s, 20. I don't know how that happened. That never happened.
You rolled 1s and 2s.
I rolled, okay, fair
enough.
I rolled my fair share of 1s and 2s.
Again, with Frostgrave, it's swingy. Like, it's really a D20 system. You're going to get...
There's a lot of...
You roll a 20, something dies. Is really what what it comes down to.
Yep, agreed. So, great game. Let's talk a little bit about the after game, the treasure and the casualties and whatnot. What happened on your side?
All right, so I had four mice were out of action, and I got 2 of them back, and then 2 were injured and are going to have to skip a game.
Okay.
Which means I got a lot of gold, which we'll get to in just a second, which means they're just being repurchased. They're fired and repurchased. the Mickey 2 or whatever, whichever ones I lost.
Brother, yeah.
So I lost a man at arms and I injured a Knigget and a treasure hunter. So their brothers are going to be joining the band here because I don't want to sit out with.
Isn't it funny how many siblings there are in Philstat? Yeah,
they're mice. So at least for me, it seems appropriate.
It makes sense.
But I managed to gain 3 levels on my wizard, so I'm now level 8, and I rolled a crap ton of gold. I got 5 treasure rolls.
You really did.
And I kept getting the roll a d20 and get 10 or 15 times that much. So I made out with. I'm sitting on about 800 gold right now. So I'll be able to outfit fairly well.
And you're level 8 now?
I'm level 8 now. Gave myself some health, just learned a new spell, that sort of thing.
Okay, fantastic. And so I got 240 experience points out of that whole shindig with 2 treasures, so not a bad outing. I had 4 people go out on my side. The infantrymen made a full recovery. One of the thieves made a full recovery. One of the other thieves just died outright. So pretty poor roll on that. But you know what? 20 gold crowns for a thief.
Well, and most importantly, your apprentice.
And the big thing is the apprentice.
With nothing bad happening to him.
She
which you would pay 20 gold for any day.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'll gladly pay 20 gold for that. So she survived completely unscathed. So that was great. The barbarian must have thought she ran her through, and maybe she just fell over and pretended to be dead. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So I got a grimoire and a magic hand weapon, which I might give one of my treasure hunters. So kind of beefing those guys out. So again, fun game. It's fun to watch these things progress, and maybe we'll see them again in another battle report. So this video battle report is being published under Cranky Old Gamer, but it's also going to be supported by our podcast, the Dolly Variety Show.
Yes.
So we'll be posting it in both places. So go ahead and check out the Dolly Variety Show podcast, both on Facebook and Twitter.
We'll link in the video.
There'll be in the show. We'll have in the video notes. There will be some links there. So go over there and check us out, and you'll see other things that we like to play. And see if you like this video battle report. Go ahead and like and subscribe to us on YouTube for Cranky Old Gamer. But go ahead and give Dolly Variety Show a look too.
And so this will be episode 2. Will all be about Frostgrave, the whole show.
Yep. So go check that out. All right. Again, Richard, great game. Great opponent as always. So much fun. And again, like and subscribe if you like what you see here, and give us a shout out and tell us what you think. We love positive comments, but constructive criticism is always welcome too. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.